Controlling the UGA will require loading an app on your phone so you will be able to connect to the UGA using the Bluetooth capabilities of your phone and the UGA. Let's briefly review how to download and install an app on your phone. We will look at the iPhone and an Android. The app is called DryFire Trigger Unit. With an Android phone, the first thing that you're going to need to do is to install the DryFire app, and we're going to do that by coming to Play Store. And when we get on Play Store, I'm going to come up here to where it says Google Play, and I would normally type in DryFire, but it's already available up here, so I'm just going to touch DryFire. And you can see down here that we now have the DryFire app, so I'm going to simply touch that. And now you can see over here I have a spot where I can touch to install it. So I'm going to install it. You can see right now it's downloading, and now it's in the process of installing it. And after it gets installed, I could open it at this point right here, but I'm going to go back and we're going to open it actually on one of the screens. So I'm going to back up. And I'm now back on my home screen. And if I go one screen over to the side, here's my application. I'm going to move that down to the middle. All right. Now then, all we have to do from this point on is to come over here to this application and start the application. Well, I hope you find that installing the app is quite simple. In this video, I'd like to show you how you can control the operation of your universal gun assembly, which we call the UGA, using your cell phone. When your UGA arrives, it will already be in the pull trigger mode and ready to go. All you'll have to do is put it on your gun, hook up the switch, and it's ready to be a pull trigger. And you won't have to do this operation at all. However, if you're a person who wants to use it in either release trigger or what we now call seismic mode, which means that you're going to be able to pull the trigger, cock your gun, and pull your own trigger, then you'll need to know this information. So let me start by showing you the UGA, this cylindrical device, and in order to be able to allow your cell phone to connect and control this device, you're going to need to start by turning it on. And on one end, there's a push button. Now I'm going to go ahead and push, and on the front here, I'd like you to watch for a red light blinking. I pushed it, and notice now that there's a red light blinking, and it blinks every 2 seconds, and it will do this for a minute. This is what we call the broadcast mode, and it means that this device is looking to pair up with a Bluetooth device, of which your cell phone is a Bluetooth device. So now I'm going to touch on the DryFire app and start that app. And the process now is going to be that the cell phone is trying to connect to my UGA. Notice up here it says connecting, and it may take anywhere from 5 seconds to 30 seconds before it connects. And when it connects, you'll see this particular screen if it's an Android machine. If you're using an iPhone, this will be formatted slightly different, but it'll have the same information. So now let's talk about what can you do. Up here on the top, you can see it says firing mode, and it's currently in the fire on release. Now, if I wanted to put that back into the fire on pull or press mode, I'm simply going to touch that. It opens up another internal screen, and all I have to do is come up here and touch what I want. And in this case, I wanted press when you press the trigger or when you pull the trigger, and that's the mode that we're in. So we have 3 modes in here: pull trigger, release trigger, and what we call the universal. That is when you're going to want to actually cock your gun using a snap cap. You're going to want to pull the trigger, and DryFire works in that mode in the following way. This UGA has the capability of detecting physical movement. And when you pull the trigger and the firing pin drops and hits the snap cap, there is mechanical movement which takes place in the gun, and this little device is sensitive enough to be able to notice that movement, and that'll fire the gun. So it takes the place of what we used to have as an acoustic mode, but it is technically being done in what we would now call a seismic mode. So let me go ahead now and bring back, and what else do we have? The second item is you can change the laser pulse width. That's the laser that comes out of your gun assembly and hits the wall. It should be at 40 milliseconds. Even though you have the opportunity to change it, I would not change it unless you're doing some sort of a special thing with a rifle or pistol in which it may be of advantage to you. For shotgunning, leave it at 40. And then we have the trigger sensitivity mode. It's been defaulted to 7500, and that only works when you're in the seismic mode. In the seismic mode, if you want to change that and you want it to be more sensitive, then make the number smaller. If you want it to be less sensitive, make the number larger. And then finally, there's some more really advanced settings down here under Advanced Universal Settings, which will allow you to more precisely let it determine the mechanical movement in 3 directions: vertically, horizontally, and longitudinally. Well, that's about it. Now, to leave here, all you have to do is to come down and turn off your app, and we're off, and now your dry fire universal gun assembly is ready to do what you wanted it to do. And that's it.